everyone, Rascal here.
And Mama, welcome to our podcast.
Today we're covering the first and unfortunately last Monster High musical, Boo York, Boo York.
Being one of the best movies out of the original Monster High series, this movie travels to the fabulously monstrous version of Boo York, with Cleo's father Ramses planning to unite two royal families under a magical comet in order to gain an even, larger empire.
Yes.
Empire.
Yes, the song. And before we start, be sure to like, subscribe, and notification bell to get updates on future podcasts and more than pause videos.
Yes, and more Monster High movies.
Yes, you can never have enough Monster High.
Original Princess.
Yes, at least. So for this one, we attempted to watch like the movies in order. Like the first time we were watching, like we just picked one at random, and then okay, we gotta see them in order from this point on.
Right.
And
which was a lot of fun.
Right. And we didn't know this was one of the last ones before they decided to reboot the thing as it was going. So for here, this is the first musical. We had heard them sing in other movies, but this is the first time they have more than just one song. They have one song to stick out in the whole movie, if they had one, and then that was it. But for here, they actually have multiple songs in here. And we were really surprised on how well each song was.
Yes.
It never felt like they were just throwing in a song just to have one. They all were part of the story. All of them had amazing singing voices. A lot of them were catchy. And you were having fun with each one, even if it wasn't always upbeat.
Yes. And this was such an important part of the movie that a soundtrack was released that sold really, really well.
Yes. There was even this thing Mama had said when we were looking up, like who were doing the singing voices of the characters.
And I just wanted to know, I was like, I gotta know who this is because one of them sounded really familiar. The one who sang with Caddy
Noir.
Yeah, that sang with her.
Yeah.
Played Pharaoh.
Yeah.
Or Seth, whichever you prefer.
Right. And then when we looked it up, we found out that the person who sang it or even wrote the lyrics worked on the TV show Empire.
And that's what was like triggered me to wonder who this was because a lot of the music sounded different from anything that was out there. And then that particular singer for Seth sounded like one of the characters on that show.
Right.
Excuse me, guys. And they decided, I guess, not to reveal the people who worked on the soundtrack for whatever reason.
Right.
And I don't know if they were embarrassed or what, but they shouldn't have been because it's really is an excellent soundtrack.
Yeah.
You don't even feel like you're listening to a soundtrack for an animated movie. It just sounds like something that would really do well, on the Billboard charts.
Yeah. Especially, ironically, the best song in the movie is Empire.
Yes, and I played it over and over and over. And then Rascal made some summer discs 2 years in a row and included it on the disc.
And of course, it's the villain songs. Of course, it's the best song on the entire soundtrack. It's always, the villain song's always the best. And since they had Nephra and Ramses, I guess it was just perfect. And the whole theme of the movie is just really fun. I mean, they really went all out with this movie. They had about all the characters in there. Everyone had a part, even if they weren't in Boo York.
Right.
You had really high stakes, really good songs, really good pacing. Everything about the movie just flowed perfectly. And you love each subplot, which never felt like they were all running into each other or going too fast or going too slow or seemed unnecessary. Everything worked so well. It's like they really put everything into this movie.
And one hilarious subplot involved your favorite tiger girl.
Oh yeah! Like, oh wow, you can't sing worth anything.
But I thought she could. She wanted to be on Bloodway. Bloodway. She wanted to be on Bloodway.
And then she went, and then someone was honking over for her to shut up. She's like, oh shush, I'm great.
But then as the plot progresses in the movie, first we forgot to say that they were going to go to Boo York, and Cleo said, her dad said she could take, her best friends.
Yeah.
And she said, all of you are going. Of course, everyone was excited and screaming. And so they went there, but it was under a guise that they were trying to get Nephra married to Seth or Pharaoh.
Yeah.
And she decided she didn't want to marry him because he was boring and blah, blah,
He's
blah.
weird,
And he was short.
He's weird!
Yes. So they decided to trick Cleo into marrying him.
Right.
And so that's where the, the fun ensues. Then there's Stone is involved. That has something to do with,
a comet.
Of course, comet, full moons, all the stuff normally that happens. And what is Kitty's name?
What do you mean, Kenny Noir?
No.
Wait, the kitty.
The one who stole the stone. The one
Oh my gosh, I can't believe I forgot her name.
That's
She
what
says it all the time.
Duh.
Oh man, was it not Tigra? I don't know. Toralei, that's what it was. Toralei.
Toralei steals the stone, and she's able to capture Caddy.
Yeah, now we got it. Now we got it.
And suddenly she can sing fantastically, and she makes it to Bloodway, and she's starring because she's got this awesome voice that doesn't belong to her.
Right.
So then, of course, they've got to get it back. But as you said, that's one of the subplots that works right in. Everything works in. They meet all these funny characters like her, the Mouse King's daughter.
Yeah, and they had LED. They was like a robot.
Which is a great pun.
Right. And Pharaoh, you mean, was like I guess
he was a
rap name. And he falls for Caddy Noir. They were trying to get him with Cleo. Wasn't gonna have. There's been this running thing within Monster High where Ramses wanted Cleo to get rid of Deuce, and she refused to.
Right.
So he was trying to pair up with him, so that way they could unite the royal families, and he would rule over the city and most of the world. And it was like, you rule over a lot already, man.
Right. And of course, that's another subplot,
which
and
is actually very endearing.
Yes,
yeah.
and how much you love Deuce, so you're like, no. And it was just so much fun watching this movie. So of course, without spoiling everything for you, there is a happy ending. But one of the best one of the best parts of the movie is when they are running on top of
the buildings,
New York, on the buildings, trying to get to the place to stop.
Yeah, the comet.
Right. And it was fantastic. They're singing this gorgeous song, and they're all running after each other. Before that, they're on the subway where Deuce is dancing.
Yeah.
And you're like, how the heck is he
doing
like
this?
that?
Yeah.
But they're running across the rooftops. That's what I wanted to say. And it's fun, and it's high energy, and it's a great song, and you never want it to end, and unfortunately, the song does.
Yes. And towards the end, of course, you meet another character. We won't say who, but it seems like they're going to bring in another element outside of the monsters into this universe.
And one more arc that's in there is Ghoulia is trying to figure out how, what the comet is.
Yeah, and
how to stop it because it's heading toward Ghoul Earth.
Yeah, Boo York. Yeah, just like, why does it go specifically to the place they are? Because if it crashes, that'll be the end of half the planet. I was like, oh wow, this really is high stakes.
Not only the monsters, but also the humans.
Yeah, so the whole world really was in danger on this round. And when they get to, it's actually a certain point in here, like they introduce another character we can't reveal unless you haven't seen it, was that it looks like before they decided we're going to shut this down and reboot the whole thing, they're planning on doing a crossover movie with Ever After High because it's indicated they're in a parallel universe, but they can cross over like Cupid did. So, and it looks like they had started working on it, and then they told them, we're rebooting the whole thing, you gotta trash this. So, there's actually, if you look online,
stupid.
if you look online, if you type in Monster High Lost Movie, people put together the storyboard and the voices and stuff of what they had finished so far of the film that never got finished, which would have been the first crossover movie. Because that would have been great because if you are a fan of both franchises, you would love to see them meet each other. Absolutely. You already had your gateway with Cupid, and this new character definitely proved that it's a shared universe.
Yes. So, brilliantly written as always, lots of fun as always, beautiful fashion as always, and I love our ghouls that we love, and
you love the ships. You actually loved all the ships in here.
Absolutely.
Especially with Pharaoh and Caddy Noir, like oh my shipping.
We're glad that Cleo and Deuce stayed together. Yes, I'm going to tell you that part of the ending because it was a happy ending.
Even his little snake hairs, they were happy to see her. They missed her. They kissed her on the forehead. That was just hilarious.
So, if you love the Monster High original franchise like we do, and if you've seen New York, let us know what you think in the comments below. If you haven't seen it again, no longer available on Netflix, up to Amazon, you can get it for less than $10. If you love even one of these movies, it's a great investment to get all of them. They have fantastic deals on these movies all throughout the year. Sometimes you can get them for as little as $2.50, and we mean brand new, not used. So,
Be sure to like, subscribe, and put notification bell to get updates on future podcasts and World of Paws videos.
And more Monster High movies.
So, thank you so much for watching. I'm Mask Entertainment.
And I'm Mom Entertainment.
Have a fantastic day.
Peace. Empire.
And reporters sitting, flashing lights. Trying to walk around, man, who the hell are you? What you wanna do? Well, man, it's on you. Man, it's on you. With her in my dreams, she was my queen. A castle in the mountaintops, rivers and streams. Plucking sunlight from